The sponsor of the Indy 11, Charlie Rugg. Little tug of the jersey immediately coming from Edmonton. Thomas Granito whistled for the foul. There is, as you will be able to hear tonight, a rather significant breeze, but it's going across the field. Breeze is coming in from the south. Franco earns a corner within the first 30 seconds for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and that came off of, that's a really unnecessary foul, pulling Charlie Rugg's jersey there. It was Brian Brown up top against 4 backs. It wasn't like Edmonton was out of position or out of shape.
It'll be Victor Pineda that gets dispatched to take the corner. Corey Miller and Erik Morales move forward from their center back position. Looking for the opening strike on a set piece. Nothing doing there. Franco will track it down, and the 11 will hit the reset button. You see Kyle Hyland. He was the player of the week 2 weeks ago for the Indy 11. Quick check of the injury update brought to us by Community Health. Cleberson out, and that is likely for the season. Sergio Pena out for the next few weeks, dealing with surgery compartment syndrome in each leg. Keller and McKinney, both guys that are getting closer to playing, but players we will not see tonight for the Indy 11. McKinney is yet to play this year due to a leg injury. Keller suffered a concussion in the Open Cup match against Louisville. Work by Mayers to find Brian Brown.
Great combination.
Mayers 3 assists for the Indy 11. Places him well up the charts in North American Soccer League play. Georgi Ristov of Tampa Bay has 5. A couple of others have 4. Brown looks to make the turn.
I love the way he fights for the ball as a target.
And draws yet another corner for Indy 11.
Let's see, 175, 180, and he plays like he's 220 up there.
Well, this team in general, but certainly Brian Brown in particular, they have found their stride these last couple of games. Brian has 1 goal this season against the Cosmos back on April the 11th. Pineda again. Didn't get all of that one.
No, those are 2 really ineffective serves. On these corner kicks, you're only going to get so many. You've got to be dangerous on them, and the first thing you've got to do is eliminate that first line of defense.
See more and more fans streaming into Carroll Stadium. The weather forecast for today kept getting better, starting from last night going forward. It has not been a good season for weather for home matches for the Indy 11. Stoikov,
great ball.
Draws contact, but not enough to draw a whistle. Outside of the 18, that probably gets called. Inside the 18, you're going to need more than that.
I agree with you 100%.
Return of Stoikov and Pineda have played a major factor for this Indy 11 team.
It's brilliant.
Stoikov starts the attack there looking for Brown, and even though Brown couldn't get to it as he kind of tails rip the play, gives the thumbs up to his teammate. There you see John Smith. This is his 4th appearance of the season for FC Edmonton. He had an outstanding year last year, but the Eddies brought in Matt Van Ocol, who had spent the previous 5 seasons with Minnesota United. And Ocol has not been strong in the first 6 games this year. Here's an opportunity. Brown, Smits there to make the play. Gets to the top of the 18 and stops.
Just a little strong, just a little strong.
But again, multiple opportunities early for the Indy 11. Last week they played from behind briefly. Pino with the opening goal for Fort Lauderdale. Pineda would level by halftime for the Indy 11. And again, the game winner in the 93rd minute. This team in 6 of their 9 league matches have had the outcome decided from the 85th minute or forward. Good work by Ring to avoid traffic.
A little too much short in there.
Marco Franco, the last remaining Ironman for the Indy 11. He has played in every minute of every match this year. Now, generally for those streaks, we do not include U.S. Open Cup games, but he played every minute of 120 against Louisville City FC. Back on May 27th, Christian Niecht in his 8th appearance of the season for the 11. Christian played every minute of every game last year. Missed 2 this season with the opportunity for playing for the Montreal Impact in the CONCACAF Champions League final. At the end of April. First touch for Erik Morales tonight finds Kyle Hyland. Morales named to the NASL Team of the Week for his efforts last week in Fort Lauderdale. His third such honor this season. Kyle Hyland, you see on your screen now, was on that team a week earlier. The Indy 11 have had back-to-back Players of the Week with Hyland and Pineda getting said merit from the league for the last 2 weeks. The 3 honors for Morales, the most of any Indy 11 player this year. But only 1 player in the league has been on the Team of the Week on 4 different occasions. That's T. Shipolati of the Carolina Railhawks. Good ball by Bears.
You can see the result of Edmonton having given up more goals than anybody else this season is a really disciplined focus on defending. They're sitting back with 8 players and just jamming things up in the back. Looking to counter off their big body target, Yonke up top, and then Bulakai right in behind them.
This reminder, fans, you can find your perfect honest-to-goodness Indiana getaway at visitindiana.com. Today, more indicative of the weather we promise on said getaways than the last few home games. The only really decent weather home game we've had this season was all of 2 months ago on April the 11th.
Good win.
Rugg and Stoikov get the connection timed right on that opportunity. And Rugg is fouled.
Yeah, that would have been one that I think Stoikov would have been a little bit better served coming to the outside where the space was.
Richie Jones whistled for the foul, and again, you wrap that arm around from behind, that's going to get called every time, especially when the referee is watching the play from the same angle we were. By the way, Christopher Penso is our referee this evening. Vicente Suarez, Brandon Rinkenberger are the assistant referees, and Dimitar Shavdarov is our 4th official. Ball sent in, Ring couldn't control it. But apparently there was a hand to it at some point in time.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, you're not, even though he had a ring of space, around him.
Well done.
Thank you very much. He's just not going to have the ability to take 2 touches there. He's got to find a way to flick it on, either back across or flick it on goal. But again, it's a silly foul from Edmonton. They had good shape. They had good position behind. There's no reason to give the 11 a look from 35 yards out.
The question I would have for Edmonton is, how did Ring get that open in front of the net? Frankly, as the Indy 11 broadcast team, it's one I hope they don't find the answer to this evening, but it's a good question to ask nonetheless. This is Watson wearing the captain's armband for the Eddies tonight. Switches it over to Alan Zebby. Now Yonke tries the flick. Morales is there to close down the opportunity for Nottingham.
There you go.
Victor Pineda launched forward. Ahead to Brian Brown.
Great move.
Brown sends it across and earns yet another corner. That's 3 in the first 9 minutes.
Got to be dangerous on this one now. I like this. This is a good counterattack. You know, Edmonton's not going to come out much, but they had the chance there to get some combination off of Yonke, and so, you know, they pressed some numbers up, and Indy 11 took advantage of that counter opportunity.
We've seen a variety of players act as the main man on those corners this year.
There you go.
Up and over the bar.
There you go.
To finish the thought, we've seen Brian Brown take a few. We've seen Milgaris take a few. Tonight it is Pineda that gets the honor.
Yeah, and then may come off of the fact of the confidence and how well he's striking the ball right now.
Morales didn't miss by much.
Great ball. Great ball.
This team is starting to increase its goal quantity on the year. Now 10 for the Indy 11.
Well, you look, one of the big complaints that we had early on was that none of the goals in that first 5-6 game were created. They were off of restarts or own goals or penalty kicks. And now these last few games, things have been built.
If this team has lacked in goal quantity, they have made up for in goal quality. They have all been top shelf. That would have been another one. This portion of the broadcast is brought to us by Community Health Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong.
The thing is, if you defend, you're in every game. You've got you give yourself a chance in every game. And Edmonton's a great example of this. They lead the league in goals scored. And they're, 9th place right now? Because they also lead the league in goals against.
16 scored, 19 allowed. And Pineda ruled to be a bit too physical with Eddie Edward. Morales clears that one away. Been little in the way of possession for the Eddies at this point.
The 11's got to be a bit quicker on the counter there. Once Edmonton sends their 6-7 players forward and has that gap between their front line and their midfield and their back line, Indy's got to get into that space a little bit quicker.
4-2-3-1, the formation for the Eddies this evening. All played back to Corey Miller, gets his 3rd consecutive start. And 2nd in as many Saturdays for Greg Janicki. Janicki is available off the bench if needed tonight. He documented the role that Miller played in last season's late turnaround. Now this is his 4th appearance of the year.
I like him as a player. Kid's a champion.
Tries to launch Rugg forward, and Watson will play it out to the side for an Indy 11 throw in. Stoikov on the full gallop.
Great ball.
And that'll be a foul. And again, it's an easy call. When you wrap that arm around, as was done by Johan Smith, the referee trail the play is going to call that every time. Let's take a look at the Buffalo Wild Wings replay. And it wasn't much there, but he had his arm wrapped around the player. And that, when the referee sees that, that's going to get whistled.
Yeah, and Stoikov knew it. The only thing that he could do was, even if Stoikov slowed his pace down, he was going to get run over. There was going to be a foul.
Bears will take this set-piece opportunity. The 11th row numbers forward. They've got 7 in the box. And that ball of no threat. Brown will track it down to keep it in play.
How about it?
Ayers draws 2 defenders. Quickly releases to Ring.
Good ball.
Headed away from Rugg. Finally cleared from danger by Edmonton. The how about it, of course, in reference to Kyle Hyland's 25-yard blast from 2 weeks ago against Tampa Bay. This one sent in, and Smits.
Oh, he knew his goal.
Had the geometry down perfectly, because he rather casually allowed that one to slide by. He just missed that far post.
Boy, I tell you, this one I try and go down and get with my hands.
Smits was the goalie on the NASL Team of the Week 2 weeks ago. Possession has been rather limited for Edmonton tonight, and so as I talk about it, they find a way to lose it. Pineda working through the landmines in midfield. A healthy Pineda and a healthy Stoikov makes a world of difference for this team.
Oh, it gives you so much pace on the outside.
Morales will play this ball across to Franco. Fans, tonight's yellow and red cards are sponsored by Morello's Uptown Bail Bond, your central Indiana bail bond agents and proud sponsor of your Indy 11. Indy 11 team, 12 yellow cards, no red cards yet this year.
Got to stop the ball.
Here's an opportunity. Morales at the edge of the 18. Able to make the play. Onside is Charlie Rugg.
Attack it, attack it. There's space behind the defender.
Defender got the ball first. It will be a corner.
Yeah.
No foul, but yet another corner. The fourth of the opening 16 minutes for the Indy 11. Charlie still trying to find that rhythm and range from a year ago. Has not made the impact in this spring season he did in just 5 appearances to finish the fall season in 2014. And extra bodies being thrown forward. Now Mares to take the corner. He's got Highland as a short option. And Highland draws another foul.
Hey, it's one thing you look for in an official is consistency. You know, anybody gets touched from behind, he's got the whistle up in his mouth. You know, right now you're 16 minutes in. Everybody knows how to play.
Quick restart here. Opportunity. And yet another corner. Ball deflected away. That caught some Indy 11 players and most of the FC Edmonton players by surprise.
Yeah, now the nice thing you've done, you've sent 2 in, and then you've played the last 2 short. So you've got Edmonton not really knowing what's going to come on this one. This is when you drive in, you try and outwork them to the ball right now. Of course, if they're only going to put 1 up there, play the short ball.
Pineda does just that.
Got to be quicker.
Pineda tries to make the turn. Good defending by Yanke. And again, he's normally a forward, but did a good job of shielding Pineda away on that one. The Brickyard Battalion is getting their money's worth in this first half because the entire match has been played at their end of the pitch.
Look at them all comfortable in the shade and everything. Very happy over there.
Be happier with an Indy 11 goal. They'd be happier if the ball ever gets thrown in. Miller, the Zionsville native. He's one of 2 Zionsville alums on the field for the Indy 11. Mares being the other. Good ball by Franco. Now Stoikov with some room to operate. Swings that one in. Deflected away. Just missing. Pineda was looking for his 3rd in the last 110 minutes.
Put it in the right place, too. Put it in exactly the right spot.
Outstanding possession and opportunity for the Indy 11.
It's tough. He knows the goalkeeper's screen. He knows the back post is the toughest place for the keeper to make that save, and he just fires a missile.
Outstanding ball by Franco. Those 2 both last year on loan to Chicago Fire, now fully fledged members of the Indy 11.
He's going to have a big game. Healthy, confident, riding this wave from last week.
Highland able to track that down. Rugg applies pressure to Zebi. Pineda will knock that one free out of bounds. And this is an FC Edmonton team missing their leading goal scorer, one of their leading goal scorers, and Lance Lang tonight, 4 goals and 4 assists. Made the move last year from defender to midfield, and he has been a difference maker offensively for FC Edmonton. Here's a good looking ball here. Headed up and over Christian Neef. First opportunity of any kind for FC Edmonton.
Yeah, this is an uncomfortable place to be. I mean, this is all that Edmonton's looking for here is a nice opportunity to get that ball into the target and play off of it. But it's uncomfortable as a coach because you're controlling the game. You know, everything is kind of falling your way right now. And Edmonton's just looking for the one opportunity. So you can put this game away here.
Frank Yanke the target on that one. For home, auto, business, and more, choose Indiana Members Credit Union. They're keeping it simple. Show your Indy 11 fandom with your IMCU Indy 11 debit card. Approaching the 21st minute.
Yeah, 9 guys behind the ball. It'll be tough to break down, but they're playing in such a tight block that you've got Franco here on the switch with a lot of space.
And that'll be a goal kick for Smits.
And that's really the key to beating a team that wants to play a low-pressure, tight zonal box like this, is to move that ball quickly side to side. They can't get here in the time that the ball can get here.
Spring season wraps tonight for everybody in the North American Soccer League. 4 other matches take place this evening. New York Cosmos hosting Jacksonville. And a win or a draw or simply a loss by maybe even a goal is enough for New York to claim the spring season championship. Here's an opportunity. Morales gets in the passing lane and takes it away.
Good switch. It's the same guy. Morales just reads everything so well.
Charlie Rugg. Nice
Great
ball by
turn.
Charlie. Good help by Edmonton.
Yeah, he's got to see that pressure. He's got to see that pressure.
Well, speaking of pressure, he keeps applying it. Nothing comes of it just yet.
Clever ball by Smith.
It'll maintain possession for the Indy 11. It was Johan Smith that came in to thwart the scoring opportunity for Charlie Rugg. Ball at the feet of Hansen Boakai, and that is a talented young player that has really grown up in the FC Edmonton junior program. Smith now will give chase. I mentioned earlier the fact that Marco Franco, the last man to play in every minute of every match to this point of the season for Indy 11. That streak came to an end when the first whistle blew tonight. Roberts had that streak going for Edmonton, but again, he is called up to national team duty for Canada. So both he and Lance Lang playing for their countries tonight and missing this spring season finale. Roberts, a young man that was born in Sierra Leone, just recently got his Canadian citizenship. Now has a chance to play for the national team.
And you can see that the loss of both players has affected the tactics in this game, because the way they're playing low pressing and just looking to counter and sitting back and waiting for that right opportunity, that's not the way you play if you're the leading goal scoring team in the league.
Berg will swing this one to the right side. And Highland able to clear. Boakai plays this to the middle. Smith with plenty of room.
Closes. Well defended. As soon as he has that bad touch, you saw Franco explode in and put that pressure on his back. It's great defending.
Franco will keep the ball at his feet until pressure do otherwise. The lead for Bears. Bears up and running. Bears takes the shot. There's a piece of that one. Smits did touch it. Pushed it up and over the crossbar. Another corner coming for the Indy 11.
Yeah, I like the fact we got it. Like the fact we got a corner out of that, but I think there were a couple of better options that Dylan had in there. He's such a creative playmaking guy. Charlie Rugg is making that run into the space. Brian Brown is making that run behind his defender back post.
Bears are going to take the corner. Played at both the University of Louisville and Indiana University to Dylan. Headed down by Ring. Smits was there.
Charlie Rugg almost got a piece of that.
Ring playing that holding midfielder role with Sergio Pena. Injured and out. And the injuries have not been overwhelming for the Indy 11 in terms of total number. They've been overwhelming in terms of one position, and that being at midfield. Ring with a takeaway.
Yeah, see there, I'd like to see this pace pushed a bit right there on the counter.
Charlie Rudd couldn't slide it past Watson. Now Yanke. Morales is there to close down Boakai, at least to slow him down for a moment. Will be a throw-in coming for FC Edmonton. Chance to switch up sides here for the Eddies. 26 minutes. Opportunity for Brian Brown. Brown giving chase. It'll look to keep that in play. Now back to midfield for FC Edmonton. This portion of tonight's match is brought to us by the Flaherty and Collins Depot. The Depot at Nickel Plate Luxury Apartments, your first and last stop. Now back at the feet of Smits. So with the goalie having a chance to reset, let's welcome the president of the Indy 11 and Peter Wild into the broadcast booth with us.
Great to be here, Greg.
Your thoughts on the first 26+ minutes so far?
It's dynamic, and especially dynamic for Indy 11. We're controlling possession, we're moving the ball real well, keeping it on the carpet. It's exciting. Had a couple of good chances. I wish the header would have gone under the bar instead of over the bar, but those will come.
For some, it may be old news because it's been nearly 2 weeks since the coaching change was made, but it is our first home telecast since the decision to remove Jurgen Sommer and elevate Tim Regan to interim head coach. Just kind of your thoughts on the move at the time and what has transpired since that time, I guess.
Well, obviously a very tough decision to make, but I think a necessary one, for everybody. I think the team has responded very maturely, very well, and I think anytime you have a change like that, you're going to have a certain energy that comes from it, and we've seen that. But what's important is that continues, and so far so good.
There's been energy tonight from this team as a whole, but clearly over the last 2 weeks from Victor Pineda. Morales steps in to prevent the counterattack.
It's so good. It's so good seeing Victor on the ball, and tonight he's playing with some maturity and confidence in the middle of the field. His possession obviously is one of the best on the team.
I think being healthy, and then certainly the response he had in the 2 opportunities last week. You got a guy that's that talented, that's playing with that level of confidence. His stock is just going to continue to rise here.
He's a very young player, obviously, and being able to play on a regular basis over the last year and a half, or the last year, really, because he really only got on the ball last year, is helping him. He had the great opportunity in Chicago to develop in training sessions, but he wasn't getting the first team games, and that's what helped him so much in the last year, and you're right, his upside is very good.
As we sit here from the midfield stripe and look across at a full South stands tonight. Nice that Mother Nature gave us a break for once.
We had it coming. I tell you, this is the first or second rainless day of the year, so we're real pleased. The fans are having a great time and keeping dry.
Peter Wild, the president of the Indy 11, joining us. Your thoughts about the qualities you've seen from Tim Regan to this point, the way he has transitioned into this role?
Nothing unexpected. He's been very good, very solid. He's communicated well with the players, with the staff, and it's not an easy time, an easy thing for him. And not only is he taking on the head coaching roles well, but he's also moving Kleberson into a meaningful assistant coach role, which is not the easiest thing because Kleb has not coached before, but he's been a great assistant to Tim to this point.
I'll tell you, I was talking to Tim a day or two ago, and it might have been one of the most incredible, classiest things I've ever heard. I've said, what kind of changes are we going to see as you take the helm here? He said, Brad, I'd have been lying for the last 18 months if I'm going to make major changes at this point. I bought into everything. I bought into the process. We're going to continue the process. I'll put my personality in it, perhaps in the fall season, as I've got time for preseason, but I like what we were doing. I think we didn't get over that hump a little bit.
No, that's right, and we're all culpable. The whole technical staff, myself included. We're responsible for not getting the results that we wanted. Change did need to be made, and we're very confident that with Tim's leadership, we're going to start to see more wins.
3-week break between league matches for the Indy 11. only a 15-day break in terms of a match here at Carroll Stadium. Monarcas Morelia from Liga MX coming in on June 28th. How are ticket sales coming along for the exhibition?
You know, pretty good from the Mexican community. The Morelia fans are responding well. We'd like to make sure we get some home fans out there too. Indy 11 fans have an opportunity. It's not part of the season ticket package, so season ticket holders do need to go online and purchase a ticket separately for that game. It's coming up 1:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon, June 28th, and we hope to have a lot of Indy 11 fans there, so it's doesn't feel like an away game for us.
First corner of this match for FC Edmonton, earned by Alan Zebby. Chad Burt heading that way to take the corner for the Eddies, and they will throw some numbers forward here. So much of this match has been played in the opposite end of the field. We'll have a quick conversation coming up here between Dragan Stoikov and Richie Jones. A little extracurriculars before the play began. From a standpoint of any sort of player changes, personnel additions, again, you do not have the lengthy break you had a year ago. Do you think we'll see much in the way of roster turnover between these next two league matches? That one headed away by Corey Miller.
You know, I think we're going to analyze the entire roster. That's part of what the break is for. And we've already started that process. Like we did last year, I think there'll be some tweaking to be done. If we can improve the roster, we will. We had a trialist in this week, a national team player from a Central American team, a forward, because it's obviously a position we're not getting the production that we wanted to. And we'll continue to look to upgrade the team wherever we can. You know, there's certain limitations this time of year what you can do, but I imagine there'll be a couple of additions during the break. And
simply put, you generally are going to carry a heavier roster load in the fall, knowing you've got 20 matches compared to 10. That just kind of happens for most teams in this league.
Well, it's two things. It's the number of games increases, but you also have had some injuries. You know, certainly we have Sergio Pena out now for a time with his surgery. Cleverson out for the season. We've been relatively fortunate. You know, the other injuries have been little nicks and knocks, and other than those two, we have everyone ready to go tonight. So that's a good thing. But you do have to plan for injuries, and from training purposes, I know Tim wants to do more 11v11 training, and that will necessitate an increase in the roster size. We don't have a tremendous amount of budget room available, but we're going to make the most of what we have.
Smith draws the foul. Set piece opportunity here for Edmonton.
That's a good ball.
Christian Neat had it read all the way. I guess your thoughts on the first impression, whether there were a lot of tactical changes or not, but with this new era, if you will, you had to love the fact you got that late win to build that momentum last Saturday.
Absolutely. The guys put in a lot of work, both in a week of training and in that game. And the conditions weren't the best. And they fought all the way to the 93rd minute, which you love to see. And getting the reward was just.
Miller goes down with some force. Whistle drawn against Janke. It'll be a free kick for the Indy 11. With that, we'll let you go enjoy the rest of the game as always. Thanks for the time, my friend. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, boys.
Peter Wilt, president of the Indy 11, our guest here in the booth. And again, it has now been nearly 2 weeks since the move was made to shake up the technical staff and the coaching staff. But since it was our first broadcast, we want to make sure we had a chance for fans to hear from Peter about that move. And we can almost talk about this multiple times throughout the match. Brad, your thoughts about the changes you've seen to this point?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the response to adversity. There's no team, there's no season where you're not going to be tested, you're not going to be challenged, there's not going to be difficult times. The difference between great teams and average teams and poor teams is how you respond to that adversity. And so, a coaching change, that is a lot of anxiety for players. Everybody starts looking at their leases, their mortgages, and wondering about their own future and having this anxiety. And the fact that the guys were able to put it into a win last week takes a lot of that pressure off.
For standing stats and all the latest league news, be sure to visit NASL.com. Ring draws the foul. We've seen the balance of play start to do just that, balance over the last few minutes.
Yeah, this is really an uncomfortable place as a coach when you've been the better team and and you've created the more dangerous opportunities. And the other team is just looking to sit in, looking to counter and play for restarts. And now you're starting to see them get some corners, starting to get some balls 30, 35 yards out that they're sending in, and they're actually able to possess it a bit on the counterattack. So it's tough when you're playing better than the other team, and yet they're hanging into the game. The confidence starts to switch to the team that's sitting in a little bit.
Brown couldn't connect on that offering. Now Michael Nani will play this back to the middle.
The other uncomfortable thing, you want that goal in the first 20, 25 minutes, because with a couple injuries and a couple guys getting called up for national team, Edmonton's got 3-4 guys playing in different spots.
Frank does a great job
of
shielding him away.
Got a couple guys playing in different spots, and they're trying to find the game, trying to find the rhythm. Guys that are role players coming in and being starters, and you don't want them to get settled in before you grab the game.
Well, there's other goal scorers missing tonight for FC Edmonton. Tomi Amiobi not playing tonight. He's got 3 goals for the Eddies this year. Daryl Fordyce available as a reserve. He too with 3 goals this season. You can fan out to everything. You log on to getfantagious.com. We've chronicled the absence of Lang, not to mention Roberts, but there are several goals, not even on the sidelines right now for FC Edmonton, guys that didn't make the trip. Bears, as always, applying that pressure.
Love it.
Seemingly with an endless reserve of energy.
Yep. Forces a turnover, Indy gets the ball back.
Little give and go. Stoikov just a step late to it.
And the great part about that's not something that shows up on the stat books. And he wasn't going to get the ball. But the way that he's able to press it and shape it a little bit, he eliminated the options from Edmonton and won the ball back just by spending another 10-yard sprint.
And Miller is there. He barely got a boot to it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You look at how they're trying to play and trying to find his feet, and they find his feet, and he gives the ball away there. It's got to be frustrating.
Pineda quickly works to win that back for the 11. Miller just kind of keeps walking that ball up towards the middle. As long as he can do so without pressure. Now Brown. Takes a rip. Yes. Remember that line about there hasn't been that many of quantity?
Yep.
There's been a whole lot of quality. From distance, again, the Indy 11 score to take a 1-goal lead. The boss is happy. That's always a good sign to see.
Huge goal. Nobody stepped to the ball. The first thing you've got to do is try and stop the ball. Nobody steps to the ball. So give Smits that shot 10 times. He's going to make that save 9 times.
20th goal allowed this season for FC Edmonton. 2nd goal of the campaign for Brian Brown.
It's a huge goal, too, because it's been a while since a forward has scored for the 11. Everything's been coming from the midfield and from the back line. Just like Peter Wilt said, they've got a trialist in right now that's a forward. You're going to feel that stress if you're a player and you're a rostered player on contract. You're going to feel when they start bringing guys in on your position. And again, it's how you respond. Do you start pressing too much? Does your touch get a little bit tighter? Or do you respond? That's a great goal by Brian Brown.
The smoke translates on your screen. The smell might not. It smells like the 4th of July as it wafts our direction.
It's fantastic.
From the West End stands, the Brickyard Battalion. And we talked about the absence of Roberts in this game in central defense for Edmonton, and there have been a couple of times where you could notice his absence. That was one of them right there.
Yep.
11th goal this year for the Indy 11.
Now, if you're watching tape on the 11, you look at Dylan Mayers a couple weeks ago, scores from just about the 18. You got Kyle Highland scoring from about 30 yards out. And you got Pineda hitting 2 from outside the 18. So you've got to be looking at tape and saying, we can't let them be unpressed 20, 25 yards out. Indy's going to be hitting the ball.
The final 5 minutes of this first half is brought to us by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. No, the Indy 11 are the Golden State Warriors at this point, Brad. Only 3-point shots. Everything from outside of the 18 for the Indy 11.
Brilliant.
Looking for more. Franco reverses field. The ring has all kind of space to organize. The Indy 11 looking for that first home win of the season. Both wins have been away from home in San Antonio and Fort Lauderdale. So headed away. And Pineda foul. Well, something has to give between these two teams. The home struggles of the Indy 11. But the struggles with the current score on your screen continuing south of the border for FC Edmonton. They are 0 for 3 in terms of road matches in the States so far this year. In those games, they have been outscored 9-4.
Yeah, and those are little things. You say, okay, south of the border, how much does that affect it, the travel and everything? But the thing that changes is it's in everybody's head. They all know them. They all know those statistics. So now you've got this little air of negativity that pops in, like, can we do this down there? You can't play that way.
Christian Neat gets the ball to roll his way. You see the possession on the screen. And that is heavily favored to the home side. Morales sizes up his options. Tries to dial long distance for Brian Brown. Use the Peter Wilt word from 20 minutes ago. Dynamic.
Great
There's
ball.
A chance for
one time.
Mayers hops.
Yep.
Mayers works his way through. That's a penalty. Basically, they were going to play the advantage as long as Indy 11 had it.
Great effort. Kyle Highland getting in there on the backside and putting himself in position to get fouled.
The advantage was played until it wasn't an advantage anymore. And with that, Smits commits the foul that gives the Indy 11 their second kick from the spot all season long. And their first since the opening weekend of the year. No ball, all Highland. And once Smits recovered, whistle blown.
Yeah, and unfortunate. Those are two, pending this going in, those are two soft plays by Smits. Should have had the first one from 25 yards out. And then if he's going to give a rebound, you don't give a rebound 5 yards in front of you.
It'll be Dylan Mayers that gets the opportunity. Smart had the earlier one back on April the 4th. Dylan looking for his second Indy 11 goal this year. And he catches it. 2-0 Indy 11 in the 34th minute.
Brilliant. Place is electric. Here comes the sulfur smell.
The red smoke volcano has erupted. And this is the type of performance this home fan base has been dying to see. To Smits' credit, he guessed right. Mayers just struck it perfectly where it did not matter.
It was a great reaction, too. He almost had it.
This Edmonton team on average has given up over 2 goals a game. And they're at that 2 number right now before halftime.
Can't take your foot off the gas now. Can't take your foot off the gas.
Rebecca Townsend will have a chance to check in with interim head coach Tim Regan. Coming up momentarily. We're expecting this just to be the 45 minutes. Not much in the way of stoppage time expected at the end of half number 1. So Brown and Mayers now in the 2-timers club this year for the Indy 11. Rugg, not done yet.
Oh my
Mares
goodness.
Again.
Are you kidding me? What a touch.
Stoikov. That'll be a throw-in, but that'll also be the end of the half.
Wow.
The home fans, the home team will have to settle for 2. And a 2-goal lead.
Great half.
And a standing ovation from many of the fans in attendance here at Carroll Stadium. So many of the positive results for this team have happened away from this great home crowd in the last year and a half. Through 45 minutes, that is not the case this evening. Already for a 3rd consecutive game. 2 goals on the board for the Indy 11. The first from Brian Brown, the second on a penalty drawn by Kyle Highland, converted on by Dylan Mares. And handshakes and pats in the back all around as the Indy 11 make the walk up the tunnel for halftime.
Don't celebrate it too much.
Tim Regan awaiting for all of his players to clear the pitch to give everybody a handshake and a pat on the back for a job well done in the first 45 minutes. Really about a 10-minute lull about the midway point of that half. Other than that, all Indy 11 in the opening 45.
Loved it. And as much as you love being up 2-0, this is the most dangerous lead in the game. The next goal, if it's by the 11, breaks the back of Edmonton. If the Eddies get it, 2-1, they're back in the game. Momentum shifts.
Rebecca Townsend now standing by with Tim Regan. Rebecca.
Thanks, Greg. Coach Regan, what do you think of what you've seen so far in this first half?
Similar to last week. It's a timely time to score, and then when you make it 2, it's even better. So, but there's a lot to be played for right now. You know, they're a team that is in the same position as us, needed to win, and you know they're going to come out after us in the second half.
Goals for the second half.
I mean, put the game away.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rebecca, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll check in with Tim regardless of the results coming up in the Honda postgame show. But so far, so good. The Indy 11 gave themselves multiple chances in the game's opening 20 minutes. But as has been their habit all year long, wait towards the end to cash in. 2 goals in the final 10 minutes of the half, and it's a 2-goal lead for the Indy 11. Score for the home side, 2-0 Indy 11 in front. These highlights going to be real good looking too. Let's get to them now. And the chance to start it almost off the opening kick. Brian Brown with the first scoring opportunity tonight for the Indy 11.
Yeah, great first attacking touch here, getting by that defender. Really looked like it was going to be something more than a corner kick because Indy had players coming in behind.
In the first 15 minutes, really nothing more than corner kicks. This was one of the many opportunities that Indy 11 had. Couldn't convert on, but constant pressure from Dylan Mayer.
I'll tell you what, I'm sold on him. He's just so creative, so dynamic. He's changing the game for the 11.
Room to operate for Brian Brown, and that is lethal. From long range, left foot, buries it.
Ridiculous defending. He's 15 yards of space around him at the top of the box.
And just a few minutes later, the ricochet off of Smits. He takes down Highland again. Momentarily, play was allowed to continue once the advantage ended. Penalty, Mares, left corner, 2-0 lead for the Indy 11. Look at the difference in shots on target, in corner kicks, in possessions. This is what the box score generally looks like when a team has a 2-goal lead at halftime.
Yeah, but you know, this was by design too. Edmonton came in and said, we're going to sit in, we're going to wait for that opportunity and then try to take advantage of it. So I'm not surprised that it's slanted in that direction, the 2-0 score. That I love.
So again, the Indy 11, 2 goals to the good. Halftime show is about to end. Second half activities come your way in a matter of moments. You're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV.
Your Central Indiana Honda dealers know about smart choices. Take Honda. 75% are still on the road after 25 years. CR-V won SUV of the year, and Odyssey got the nod for safety. The smart choice, it's Honda.
Take a trip to CentralIndianaHondaDealers.com. It's the fun place to find special offers, get dealer directions, or join the Go Club, where you can win tickets, music, and more. Stop by CentralIndianaHondaDealers.com.
It's not new, and that's what you like about it. It's crunchy lettuce, creamy mayo, crispy chicken. All for just $1. No bells, no whistles, no apologies. The McChicken you love, part of the $1 menu and more. It's not new, and that's what you like about it. It's crunchy lettuce, creamy mayo, crispy chicken. All for just $1. No bells, no whistles, no apologies. The McChicken you love, part of the dollar menu and more.
11 teams, one beautiful game. My game, your game, our game. We're relentless, determined, unstoppable. Unleash your passion, chant, roar, but whatever you do, don't hold back. It's my game, it's your game, it's our game.
Teams starting to make their way back to the pitch. Get everybody happy here in Indianapolis. The Indy 11, a 2-goal advantage at halftime. Every Saturday morning, you can begin your Indy 11 game day, or even next week when there is no game, with Soccer Saturday on 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. I hope you had a chance to hear the conversation with the great J.P. Dellacamera on this morning show. He had the call on Fox Sports 1 of the Women's World Cup action, a draw from last night, USA and Sweden. More great guests every Saturday. Again, that's Soccer Saturday, 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. Tonight wraps up the spring season. There is the club's first international friendly against Morelia. 15 days from now, that is a 1:30 kickoff. That is not a part of the season ticket package. So to be there, you need to be going to Indy11.com for more information. Here you see the fall schedule that starts July the 5th, and it's not a typo after the New York game. Road trip for myself and Mr. Hodder. The New York Cosmos, the Indy 11, our lone road telecast of the season, comes your way Sunday, July the 5th. Be sure you're watching on Wish TV. The Eddies appear ready for half number 2. Indy 11 not far behind them at this point. And let's go across the way. Colin Miller is standing by with Rebecca Townsend.
Thanks, Greg. Coach Miller, what are the keys for you to turning around the second half?
Stop giving goals away would be a good start. We were having our best spell in the half, and we've given the ball away needlessly in the middle of the park. No pressure on the ball, and ends up in the back of the net. Second goal, again, no pressure on the ball, free shot, balls in the back of the net. So we have to press the ball higher here now, move, our speed of play, everything has to be quicker. We've made so many changes here today that that first half was almost expected because the guys haven't played together as a unit. We've lost 5 or 6 first-team players here for different reasons. You know, we're down to 3 fit players on the bench here tonight. So we knew it was going to be an indifferent performance. So I've just asked them here, we're not out of it by any stretch. The next goal will be critical. And if we get the next one, I believe we can still go on and get a result here.
I appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you.
Rebecca, thank you very much. And something that you rarely see, but a 2-goal deficit on the road, you want to send a message. Not 1, but 2 changes for FC Edmonton, including they're going back to Matt Van Ocol. And again, Van Ocol, fantastic last year for Minnesota, but really had his struggles early in the year for FC Edmonton. But Van Ocol is coming in, replacing John Smits, and he's not the only change. Hanson Boakai will exit. Christian Rodales will enter in the midfield. So already 2 of 3 potential substitutions.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
At the start of the second half, used by Colin Miller.
Love it. He's telling his team, look, this is unacceptable. Unacceptable you don't step to press the ball. Unacceptable you get beat on a shot from 25 yards out. Unacceptable that you don't hold a rebound. He's sending a message. Do the job that you're paid to do or get off the field.
We saw this earlier in the year where Carolina was forced to make 2 substitutions because of injuries in the opening 30 minutes. And the 1-1 draw between those 2 teams on April the 25th. A little bit of a different scenario here.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll play a man down with 10 guys that have heart than, you know, playing full 11 and just kind of going through the motions. I love the move.
Yeah. This telecast is brought to us in part by Rickers, the official convenience store of the Indy 11. Sign up for Rickers Rewards 2.0 today. Get pumped, get points, get cash. More info at RickersRewards.com. Miller sweeps that one forward. Miller talked about it. They are without several players tonight. Notably, Lance Lang, Tomi Amiobi, and Milan Roberts.
Yeah, I get all that. He gets all that too. But the guys that are coming in are still paid. So it's not like you're bringing in a guy off the streets that doesn't understand the game. And this is your time. This is your time to show that you deserve to be part of that first team.
Right now, a sour taste in the mouth for FC Edmonton going into this 3-week break. There's just more of an attacking posture already coming from Edmonton here in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like when they have the ball, they've moved into a 3-4-3. They're just leaving 3 guys back, and they're trying to put a little bit more pressure on Indy's back line.
Ball chipped in. Nobody awaiting at the back post. Nani can't keep it in play. The hustle was there, just couldn't keep it inside the sideline. Look at Kyle Hyland. That laser of a left foot that he had against Tampa Bay, his first professional goal. And Kyle, 3 years removed from playing here at IUPUI. Only played for 1 year on this field. Played his other games at Coons Stadium up at 16th Street, just north of campus. Fitting we reference that on Indiana Soccer Heritage Night, as that was the home of the Indiana Blast and Indiana Blaze that played in the late 90s. The Daredevils, the Twisters, amongst those recognized and honored at halftime. Not to mention your coach and old boss at DePaul University.
Yep, great man.
And that would be, give a name for the audience.
Paige Cobb, Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame, 39 years at the helm at DePaul University, 390 wins, unreal.
And director of athletics for
15 years.
Quite some time as well.
And did it all, putting character first. It's unbelievable. The guys that he produced, great guys.
Namely you. Edward plays that back to Van Ocol. Van Ocol played here one time last year, and that was a 2-0 win for the Indy 11. That was the first home win, at least in a league match in franchise history. If you go to all competitions, U.S. Open Cup and North American Soccer League, the Indy 11 still on just 3 wins here in this building dating back to last year. Now Jones. Ring did just enough to throw him off pace. Now Burt. Good work by Marco Franco. And there's a whistle. And that is Morales that is into the match at the halftime stoppage for FC Edmonton.
This crew tonight has complete control of this match. I've been very impressed.
Christopher Penso, our referee. Vicente Suarez, Brandon Rinkenberger, the assistant referees. Dimitar Shavdarov is our 4th official. And no foul there, but a collision of heads that will draw an immediate whistle. Granito for Edmonton. Dylan Mayers for the Indy 11. The injury list about as small as it's been in a while for the 11. Really, we had 4 players that we chronicled in our community health injury report earlier tonight.
Hate seeing this.
And that groan that you hear is our feed being piped to the video board here at Carroll Stadium.
And likely that's the 3rd sub here for Edmonton.
One of those injured players for the Indy 11 is Daniel Keller. That injury was suffered early in the match against Louisville City FC. My guess is we would see Daniel back for the friendly against Morelia on June 28th.
It'd be good to get some minutes there, get him back into game fitness.
the substitutes available for selection for the 11 tonight as far as the field players are concerned. Jaime Frias, Don Smart, Greg Janicki, Duke Lacroix, Wojciech Vucic, Osman Milgaris, and it would be Milgaris or Smart that would be most likely to come in as a sub for Mares if needed. As Brad pointed out, for Edmonton, if you make a sub here, that's it.
And I think with all the concussion protocol and the baseline testing that you got to go through, I don't know how you keep them on the field. As a player, you're going to fight to stay on the field. As soon as you get your wits about you, you're telling everybody you're okay. You're trying to answer questions. You're not looking at anybody in the eye. You don't want them looking in the eyeballs.
Both training staffs were called out immediately. Our Buffalo Wild Wings replay. Granito from El Salvador. He celebrated his 22nd birthday yesterday.
Wow.
And head injury, not what you want to do to celebrate your 22nd birthday the day after. Mares making the slow walk off the field. The penalty he converted earlier tonight, just the second penalty this year for Indy 11. First one, Don Smart back on April the 4th. There you see Tim Regan, Cleverson, and Gary Yohe also on your screen momentarily. Gary, the goalkeeping coach for the Indy 11. Part of the staff at Marion University as well as Gary.
It's coming back on.
This portion of tonight's match is brought to us by Diodora. 65 years of fine Italian styling. Granito has returned, and Dylan Mares now sprints back onto the field. So good news on both fronts. Now there's another little bit of an injury issue for FC Edmonton. Looks like Richie Jones might be dealing with some cramp issues for the Eddies. He's playing through them, but on his last touch, he's up a bit hobbling. So that is worth noting. There are far more southern climes than Indianapolis in the North American Soccer League, but that is something that has to be a struggle for Edmonton. That is playing these summer matches in the States where you are simply not going to replicate the humidity you deal with. Northern Alberta does not provide that the way Central Indiana does. Christian Neek last week had to make 6 saves. Really has not been that challenged in tonight's game. Fans, you can gear up at NASLshop.com, the fans' home for all the latest league merchandise. A little pressure applied that time by Yonke. Flag goes up for Brian Brown.
Good right call.
So we've not seen much in the way of opportunities for the Indy 11 the way we did during the first half, but by the same account, nothing that's been overly threatening to this point for FC Edmonton. Playing with a 2-goal deficit. Brown set free. Got one touch to it, but not a controlling touch. And Van Ocol slings that ball to the far side of the pitch. That deflects off of Dragan Stoikov. Now Smith. Yonke had slipped behind Miller. Morales steers it further away. Well read. Pineda, one good touch. The second one was good enough because it stopped the scoring opportunity for the Eddies.
You know, the effort's just a little bit lower this half.
Work by Morales. Again, kind of shepherds that ball to safety at midfield. Burt slips forward. Miller, the sliding tackle.
The volume's turned just a little bit down right now for Indy.
Nick certainly, as the ears perked up just a bit, is at attention.
Yeah, the two people that notice when the energy level drops a little bit is the coach and the goalkeeper. And then you look, a good indicator here, Erik Morales, who is such the heart and soul of that back line, he wins that ball. He dribbles it out of bounds over here, and he jogs back with his back to the field of play. Edmonton gets the ball in quickly and plays it into the space he vacated. That's so uncharacteristic of who he is and who the Indy 11 back line is. And you don't know if that's a repercussion of being up 2-0 for the first time in a half.
The roar that you heard was on the shot from Morales. He nearly cleared the scoreboard with that right foot. Miller plays a long ball looking for Mayers. That's going to be a foul on Mayers. He got tied up with an Edmonton player. Believe. Is that Watson across the way? Looks to be the case. It is. There you see the captain's armband for Albert Watson.
You love a back that's gonna jump in and win that ball before the defender get it. He stuck his head in. It looked like Dylan Mayers might have just caught him with his foot here.
Watson, one of two players from Northern Ireland on the roster. Daryl Fordyce is the other. Fordyce, one of the 3 players that scored goals in 2 matches for FC Edmonton here a year ago. Eddie's won 2-1 in early May. And then played to a 1-1 draw here in early September. The 2 most improved teams from the spring season to the fall season a year ago were these 2 clubs. Edmonton didn't miss the playoffs by much in the fall campaign.
They're going to need another fall campaign like that to stay relevant.
You see Van Ocol. For so many years in Minnesota, one of the few changes that they made. As we noted at halftime, a major change coming up for the Loons at the midway point of this season. Miguel Ibarra making the transfer to Club Leon.
As you look at it, it's really difficult to lose a talented player like that, you know. But as often as he's been on national duty assignment and been missing from the roster, at some point to it can become a bit of a distraction because he's here 1 week, he's gone for a little bit here. Players struggle to gel. Now who's ever filling that role gets to fill it full time.
Both training staffs checking out Watson. As we've already noted, they're down to 1 sub remaining, so if he can't continue, that would be it for the bench tonight for FCE. The Yankees will play for a man, or play a man down temporarily. Ball at the feet of Nani. We'll play this one ahead. Fans, you can find your perfect, honest-to-goodness Indiana getaway at visitindiana.com. Ring with some space to operate. What do you want to see differently here from the 11, Brad? Again, it's been.
I'd like to see the pace picked up. I think that the elements that got them to a 2-0 lead, and I was a little bit concerned as they were leaving the field at halftime, high-fiving each other. Here's the Diodora tip of the game. You look at this ball coming in, and Erik Morales understands the situation. He knows where the space is. He knows where his goalkeeper is. It's three-dimensional thinking. It's not just locking in on the ball. He knew where every piece of the puzzle was and was able to get that ball safely back to Christian.
Our Diodora soccer tip of the game, 65 years of Italian styling. Pineda the blast, and Van Ocol watches it go by, and given the length of goal that's been going in for the 11 as of late, might as well give it a try, right?
You know what? They've had success from there. There's nobody hotter right now than Victor Pineda. You got a new goalkeeper that's come in. You got a team that's a little bit struggling defensively. Why not hit that ball?
Now Mares with a couple of options to his right. Little give and go. Finds its way to Mares. Leaves it for Stoikov. Pineda keeps the play going. Maybe one touch too many finally. The 11 getting their first substitution ready. Miller tries it down long distance. Mares leaves. Flag up. You like the idea, but the flag is up.
Good things are happening. When you're in that rhythm, when you're in that flow, you can shoot from anywhere, you can do almost anything. That ball is just going to wind up bouncing in your favor. When you're in the other side of that, it's never going to work out right for you. And that, it feels like two teams that are on the opposite sides of that.
Miller for Brown. Edward plays it off to the side. The substitution, whenever it does happen, it looks like it's going to happen right now, is going to be Don Smart for Dragan Stoikov. Stoikov is still battling a bit of an ankle issue, so he will exit here in the 63rd minute. The super sub reprises that role in Don Smart. He has played in every game but one of his Indy 11 career. The last home game against Tampa Bay, first time he did not play in an Indy 11 match.
I'll tell you, you can look at substitutions, you can look at tactics, and you can start to say, I think I understand the personality of coaches through the decision making. One of the things that they've been concerned with Don Smart for the past year and a half is his defensive ability. They love how dynamic he is going forward. So when you make this sub when you're up 2-0 and it's an attacking piece, not a defensive piece, you're saying I'm going for the throw.
Bears fires again. The earlier goals by Brian Brown and Dylan Mares, each their second of the campaign. Two subs available now for the 11. Just one remains for FC Edmonton. One of their subs this half is right there in Matt Van Ocol. And the first touch for Don Smart. Charlie Rugg. Watson back in giving chase. Plays it back to safety to his keeper. And Van Ocol airmails that one to midfield.
That frustrates you. You do the split ball back to your keeper. He's under no pressure. Bangs it out of bounds. If it gets to the 70th minute and Edmonton hasn't gotten some kind of rhythm or gotten a goal, it could get really, really ugly as far as their ability to stay competitive in this match.
Miller was playing that ball forward just to put away from the attack. That was not his Sergio Pena impersonation of going for glory from the midfield stripe.
No, but he's got two shots right now.
All kind of curled in on frame for him. Miller and Morales, the central defensive pairing tonight. No foul given there. Play on. The ball has been finding Corey Miller on a regular basis this evening. Flag goes up against Brian Brown.
Just a yard off.
He is on loan from his club in Jamaica for the full season for the Indy 11. Brown is 23 years of age. FC Edmonton looking to put their first scare in a Christian Neat tonight. Here's a chance for a scare for the Indy 11. Rugg kind of whiffed the pass. Second one doesn't get through.
Got to get one of those. Got to get one of those.
With a 2-goal lead, you're kind of in wish list mode right now for the Indy 11, and trying to get Charlie Rugg on track would be one of those wishes for Tim Regan.
Yeah, but he's got to do his part as well. I mean, those are 2, 3-4 foot putts right there. It just needed a little bit more focus, a little bit more strike on that ball, and those things get through.
Miller weaves his way through some traffic. Now Franco. We talked a lot about it in the first half, not so much in the second half. Morales whistled for the infraction, and he might see a straight red. The ruling is that he went up above the throat with the forearm on Franco. But it wasn't just a strong shoulder, but it was unnecessary contact above the shoulder level. Second red card of the year issued to FC Edmonton, and it is going from bad to worse. Another look here. It's tough to tell.
Yeah. I might have been watching the NBA too much over the last couple weeks, but it looked like it was sold a little bit. And I thought it was high, but it was high into the chest.
I'll be honest with you, Brad, when I saw him go to the back card for a puck, I'm thinking, okay, here's a yellow.
Yeah.
Not the red, but again, the ruling is that it was excessive. Again, the only thing you would say in a red was that he led with the elbow. He made contact above the shoulder when he didn't need to. So FC Edmonton 2 goals down and now a man down. And it's one of their subs in Morales that gets sent off. The struggles in the States continue for FC Edmonton. Take one more look at it here. And clearly deserved a whistle.
Yeah, I don't see it as a red.
And we'll get an escort from the local police department. And he'll draw the ire of the fans that are seeing him on the scoreboard here. Marco Franco, who, as we referenced in the first half, the last man standing that has played in every minute of every match this year. But there are 2 very quality available defensive substitutions if needed. Jaime Frias would be of the outside back variety. Greg Janicki more of the inside back variety, but both are available if needed. You even have the option of sliding Brad Ring back to an outside back and bringing in another midfielder in Melgaris if you'd like to go that way if you're Tim Regan.
It's nice to have options and pieces that you can interchange like that. The problems that Edmonton has to solve right now are a little bit difficult.
Alongside Brad Hodder, Rebecca Townsend, Greg Rakestraw with you on Wish TV. We did not have stoppage time in the first half. We will have significant stoppage time at the end of the second half because we have had numerous whistles for injuries and for a red card. So Edmonton now a man down. Again, by the end of the last match, we saw Indy playing 3 up against Tampa Bay.
That was crazy.
We will not see anything like that again anytime soon. Franco not exactly walking with a great deal of confidence towards the bench. My guess would be his night is done.
You have the luxury with Edmonton being down a man that you can play even strength right now and let Franco continue to get evaluated and get treatment on the side before he steps back in.
I mentioned the fact that there was one earlier red card this year handed out to FC Edmonton. Daryl Fordyce had drew that red card. Island steps in. Now Charlie Rugg. Pineda. No need to be in a big hurry here if you're the Indy 11.
No, but these are the last moments that Edmonton is going to be even strength in this game. They need to push that pace a little bit before Franco or a sub comes back on.
This segment of tonight's match is brought to us by the Room Place. Get it at the Room Place. Pineda looking to launch the fresh legs of Don Smart. And that'll be a foul whistle against Don Smart. Marco Franco continues to get checked out by the medical staff for the Indy 11. Brian Gerlach is the head athletic trainer. Let's remind your fans that single game tickets to see the Indy 11 start at just $10. Visit Indy11.com or call 685-1100 to secure your seats. Not just for the fall season, as Franco has returned. But again, tickets are available for the international friendly against Monarchus Morelia on Sunday, June 28th. We will not televise that matchup. You got to spend a little cash to make your way to Carroll Stadium that day. And that is also not part of the season ticket package. That is an additional match. Tickets available. Log on now, Indy11.com for more information. Let's see how Franco does. We have Brown down behind the play for the 11. And a foul whistle against FC Edmonton. Brown should be able to soldier on after that.
A little chippy here at the end. I'll tell you what, if you're Edmonton right now, 9 field players, throw some guys up front. Your only chance to get back in this game is to get a goal. You lose 3-0 or 4-0. It's not going to change anything. But if you can get one here and maybe change momentum a little bit, make it interesting at the end.
Now Yanke with a couple of players to his right. In ring, get tied up.
Great
no
hustle.
Whistle there.
Great hustle.
Now Franco looks to be just fine right there. Charlie Rugg just elevates that one over the bar. But that has been the open area all night long. That area in front of the 18.
And you've been rewarded, so why not keep hitting it?
Rugg looking for his first goal this season. He was such a creative force for this team in their last 5 games a year ago. He is on a full season loan from the LA Galaxy. He and Dragan Stojkov were teammates with the LA Galaxy program in the USL last year, LA Galaxy 2. Stojkov now an outright member of the 11. Rugg still officially on loan.
Well played. Well played.
Three wins for the Indy 11 here in this stadium. One last year in the U.S. Open Cup. The Dayton Dutch Lions 5-2. The last 2 home matches of last season in league play. Bears, Smart, the cross. Rugg couldn't get there in time. Never touched by an Edmonton player.
It's a great look by Don Smart.
By the way, Duke Lacroix will be the second Indy 11 substitution. We'll see him in a matter of moments. First, the Buffalo Wild Wings replay. Right idea, just Rugg couldn't get his steps timed out there. There you see Duke, young man that graduated from Penn at the end of the spring semester. Played a key role in last week's win against Fort Lauderdale, despite the fact he officially is listed as playing for 2 minutes.
It's a great 2 minutes, though.
Aram's off the ring. Miller is there. Miller to Highland back to midfield. But Lacroix had nearly a 70-yard run to take that ball to the 18 that set up the winner for Victor Pineda. Lacroix may be short on experience, but he has got speed for days. And it's going to be Victor Pineda that Lacroix replaces. Now Mares again a chance.
So much space right now.
Edmonton a man down and is frustrated from the way this has played out tonight.
Frustrated, out of gas, a man down.
Final few touches of the match, perhaps unbeknownst to Victor Pineda. All sent in. Rugg can't get to it. Smart takes us into the corner. He's trying to weave his way through traffic, trying to draw the foul. Didn't draw it. Instead, it'll be FC Edmonton's possession. And that'll lead to the substitution. So second sub for the Indy 11. Victor Pineda's night is over with. No goals tonight for Victor, but helped push the tempo and the pace of this match. He did his job.
Just missed that one back post in the first half.
Lacroix, one of the players added during the spring season. Keller the other, and both guys that are getting their first professional experience out of college. You did see a bit more of Duke against Louisville City FC in the Open Cup match. He was kind of pressed into service that night because of some injuries.
That's what I saw. Pacey. Full of energy like you'd expect in your first pro game.
Duke listed as a forward, but he might be better suited as a midfielder at this level. Granito. Not getting a look from the training staff. Again, FC Edmonton still has one substitution available. I think they're about to make it.
Yeah, I mean, you never know if this is connected to the head injury or.
Substitution about to be made for FC Edmonton. Looks like Granito will be the player that'll be exiting. And he's going to be replaced by a guy that has good memories of playing here a year ago. Errol Fordyce scored a goal for FCE and a 2-1 win here back last May. We've referenced the fact that Captain Albert Watson from Northern Ireland, same can be said for Fordyce.
Yeah, I like the move because he's a guy coming off a groin injury. Coach Miller said he's got maybe 15-20 minutes out of him tonight. You know, it could be a situation where he just says, forget it, I'm going to save him. We'll get him fully healthy by the fall season. Instead, he says, look, this guy can score goals. I'm going to put him out there, see if we can't get this thing close.
Fordyce will get a little live fire rehab work, so to speak. Mares. Burt got in the way of that shooting opportunity. So the subs have been used up by FC Edmonton. One more at Tim Regan's discretion tonight. Brown, little back heel. Trying to make that connection with his countryman Don Smart. Good turn. Fresh legs for Lacroix.
Gotta make that touch a little sooner.
Duke's learning as he goes here for the Indy 11. Smith able to keep that in play. No, he can't. One of the far too numerous giveaways from an Edmonton perspective tonight.
And as tough as it is, you know, as a coach, trying to look for any kind of positive you can get.
Rugg is on side here. Works around Watson. Plays it across. Well defended by Edmonton. Alan Zebby kept that away from Ryan Brown. And Ocol got a hand to it. Play continues for the 11. Looking for 3 goals in a game for the first time since last year. That last happened for Indy 11.
Good touch.
Nice work. That's going to be a goal kick, though. Rolled to be last touch by Marco Franco.
Yeah, so you look for any kind of positives you can take out of a game as a coach, and this is a tough one for Edmonton. But you know, Coach Miller's got the chance to find out, you know, who's going to fight through this kind of difficult game, and who are the guys that are going to, you know, soften up a little bit.
Ball caroms and Mares just turned the wrong way. And a gift almost landed his feet.
Yeah. That's where the 11 is right now. Every loose ball, every ricochet seems to be falling right into a dangerous spot.
And that was after several weeks where it went the absolute opposite way.
Tough to watch.
And the best example I can give you is, I thought the goal by Pineda last week was almost kind of a little bit of retribution of karma for the ball that fell at the feet of Patterson of Ottawa and the loss at Ottawa back on May 23rd. Another opportunity here. Smart can't slide it through. Richie Jones lays it back to Watson. Jones, a young man that played in the youth system for Manchester United.
Watson's just gassed right now. Love the fight in him, but he's got nothing left.
Ruggs slides it.
Great ball. Yes. What a ball.
Beretti with the tally to make it a 3-goal Indy 11 lead.
Unbelievable vision to let that ball run through.
Duke Lacroix, his first goal in an Indy 11 uniform. His second appearance in league action. And he played that like a 10-year vet. Just buried it past Matt Van Ocol.
Great composure for your first goal. Great composure.
That is also our Schlag lockdown play of the game, because if there was any doubt, that locks down the home win for the Indy 11. For unmatched security, a variety of styles and finishes. Choose Schlag. Strong has a name. Quick does too. And that name is Duke Lacroix. And now there is going to be a card shown to Corey Miller. That's going to be for, I believe, a grab of the jersey outside of the 18. First yellow shown tonight to an Indy 11 player. All of our yellow and red cards are brought to us by Morello's Uptown Bail Bonds, your Central Indiana bail bond agents and proud sponsor of your Indy 11. That is just the 13th yellow shown all season, and this is the 10th match to an Indy 11 player. Fordyce, talented from this spot. Do not be surprised if he calls his own number here.
I think he's got to. He's got the freshest legs in the field. He's close enough where he can shoot it.
And misses. But again, as we have talked about, this is kind of the equivalent of almost a rehab assignment for him. Just get 15 minutes in live action coming back from injury, and you want to try it in a real game scenario there if you're the gentleman from Northern Ireland. This portion of tonight's match is brought to us by City Barbecue. A tremendous place for your post-game celebration after this Indy 11 win, or of course your pregame tailgate. We've got party bags available for carry out, any size group. It's awfully easy. Check them out online at citybarbecue.com, citybbq.com. Had dinner there a couple of Mondays ago, Brad. Fantastic as always.
I've yet to have a bad meal there.
The largest margin of victory in a league home match for the Indy 11. 2 against Minnesota United last year. Off the top of my head, this would also count as the largest margin of victory in any league match for the Indy 11 if the 3-goal advantage stands up.
Yeah, and the tough thing you don't want to see right now is guys doing things a little unnecessary. And then you look at the play that Franco attacked on the red card early in the first half. He's knocking that ball into space for dragging. They're playing off each other. This one he carries a little bit further, he gets hit. Same thing here with Kyle Henley. He carries the ball up, he winds up getting hit. Keep that ball moving, stay ahead of the foul, stay ahead of any pressure. Right idea. Right idea.
Bears gives chase. This result is also holding up as potentially the first shutout of the season for the Indy 11 for Christian Neat. They have not allowed a flurry of goals this year, but at least one in every match has been allowed by the Indy 11, whether it was Christian Neat or Keith Cardona. Now Rugg to Smart. Smart tries to dial long distance. It's deflected away. By the way, our final moments of tonight's match are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers as Van Ocol snares that one. Honda, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
I like that Indy continues to push the pace. You know, you got a couple guys that you get a goal or you get a good opportunity here in the spring season. That's going to carry over confidence-wise into the fall. As you mentioned earlier, if Charlie Rugg can get one here, that would be huge.
Smart heads it for Brown. Brown, left foot. Right at Van Ocol.
That had a little tail on it, too.
Last week, Victor Pineda became just the third player in team history to score multiple goals in one game. Last year, both those occurrences came against Atlanta. Like Ambersley and Cleverson. Flag goes up for Yonke.
Those are some high-scoring games.
4-2 and 3-3 to give you the exact numbers. And off the top of my head, I believe that's the only other time the 11 have scored 3 in a league match was the 3-3 draw against Atlanta to end last year's spring season. Time now for our Axis home attendance. Just shy of a sellout tonight, but 10,000 plus again here at Carroll Stadium. 10,202 to be exact. Axis Luxury Apartments downtown revolves around you. The chant of "This is awesome" from the Brickyard Battalion.
It's been in their back pocket for over a year.
It was a decisive 2-goal win in the home victory against Minnesota United last year. A solid 1-0 effort against the eventual league champs in San Antonio the week following. The only kind of laugher was the U.S. Open Cup match against Dayton last year that was a 5-2 decision in favor of the Indy 11. But just in terms of days on the calendar, nearly 8 months since the last home win for the Indy 11. Rugg, Brown, looking for Mares. Edward got in the way.
You like seeing this. They know where each other are. They're looking for them. They're playing it into the space. They're making great runs off of one another. Very creative, very dynamic up top.
It gets a perspective to add. Last year in the spring season, albeit 9 games, not 10, the Indy 11 went 0-4-5. 4 draws, 5 losses, 4 points in total. This year in 10 games, they will finish 3-4-3. 3 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses, and 13 points. The struggles in the States continue for FC Edmonton. They're going to go to 0-0-4. Games played in the lower 48 this year, and 12-4 in games played here. That means at least 2 goals in all 4 games, and 3 goals allowed in 3 of those games. Highland chose to play to Rugg.
Yeah.
He had Lacroix and Brown as other options.
I mean, the great one here to Lacroix in the corner is that if he's able to turn the corner and make a good attacking first touch, it can be something dangerous. And if not, he can just take it to the corner and kill the clock a bit.
Miller and Yonke get tied up, and that'll be a whistle against Yonke. Miller lands on that shoulder, and a yellow card has been shown. And I believe that's Greg Janicki across the way that was potentially going to come in for Miller anyway. That's incorrect. That was Woj that was lined up across the way, and that's a rough landing on that right shoulder for Corey Miller. It is Wojciech Vucic. He's going to come in for Charlie Rugg.
Good effort by Charlie tonight.
The yellow on Yonke. Brought to us by Morello's Uptown Bail Bonds. Five minutes of stoppage time to play this evening. And this will be a 5-minute countdown to a celebration for the Indy 11 fans. Great momentum for this team heading into the break.
Absolutely.
And 7 points earned in their last 3 games.
You'd love to see the 11 keep the shutout here.
Lacroix for Highland. Highland back to Lacroix.
Fight through it.
Lacroix earns the corner. Well, he has entered match ready as the recent graduate of the Ivy League.
Like what I see. Like what I see.
In the 11 were pretty confident they were going to sign him all the way back in March. But he made it a point. I want to finish my degree. I want to be done with schooling at the University of Pennsylvania.
Good for him. I don't think I would have had the maturity to make that same decision.
You did go to the Penn of Putnam County. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
There's nothing to sneeze at the academic reputation of DePaul University. A lot of the fans starting to make their way towards the exits here. But a lot are going to stick around and celebrate this one with the 11. First home win of 2015.
Good turn.
Woj makes the turn. A target forward that we have so often talked about for the Indy 11. Does have an assist this year yet to get that first goal.
I tell you, the way Brian Brown has emerged as a target, that's the guy I'm keying off of as I head into the fall season.
Dear FC Edmonton, this break can't get here soon enough.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. You saw that 5 go up there, just put a hole in your stomach with an ulcer.
And they will be a better team in July. Lance Lang, Tomi Amiobi, Milan Roberts, those guys all make a difference.
Yep, Fordyce being healthy. They also signed another goalkeeper that they think is going to have the ability to challenge John and Matt here.
The 11 can be selective about their looks on goal at this point. Time now for our save of the game, and it's brought to us by Service Master by Doran. For all your fire, water, and storm restoration needs, call Service Master by Doran, the official restoration company of the Indy 11. And frankly, never that many saves made in tonight's game.
Either way.
Smith's lifting that one over the bar, our save of the game tonight. Let's be brutally honest about this. This is about the least amount of traffic that Christian Neek has seen in net in a long time.
Has he had a save? I can't recall one.
I don't think so. He made a catch of a free kick. And to also kind of give you perspective, I've heard the Brickyard Battalion going to the Das Boot chant one time tonight. Once.
Yeah.
Brown to Woj. For Smart.
Had Franco making that run out wide.
And at this point, I think they're simply trying to keep the ball moving, keep the clock running, knowing this game has long been over. These two teams will play twice more this season. The 11 will play a midweek game in Edmonton on August the 5th. And Edmonton returns in the fall season on September the 19th. On to post-game show coming up. Maybe one more highlight to show you. Woj couldn't get that one. Brown couldn't latch onto it. Now we can tell you about the Honda post-game show. Coach's interview, recap of tonight's game, and our look around the league as this is the final game of the spring season. We won't have a full table for you, but we do have a full match for you because this one is coming to an end.
Great win.
As dominant as we have seen the Indy 11 in a North American Soccer League match. Tim Regan goes to 2-0-0 as the interim head coach of the Indy 11. 3-0. A lot of fans feel the exact same way as that one right there at the conclusion of tonight's match. Impressive to say the least by the Indy 11 tonight.
Impressive job on all aspects. Defensively, you know,